that was kind of when I was just like 15 hours a day, all in. And I had some videos pop off. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I had a month where I made 20 grand because I just had some videos just do really, really well. And then I came home and I was like, yeah, I haven't been going to college, and I moved out the next day. My mom almost had a heart attack because she doesn't understand YouTube or anything back then, and she was like, man, this guy's gonna work at McDonald's. I wasted all this time. Like I invested 18 years, and this is what I get.
Where were you living? What part of the country?
North Carolina. That's where I've lived almost my whole life.
And so, how does she feel now?
Oh, she's great.
Is she like
she's beyond happy. Yeah, she loves it. You know, put her in front of her friends. She loves talking about it. She obviously. She's
I
great.
always knew little Jimmy was gonna be a success.
No, This is kind of the turning point was when I graduated from high school, and my whole life I was like, I want to be making enough money by the time I graduated to do this full time, and I wasn't. I was still only making a couple $100 a month. So I graduated high school, and my mom was like, either move out or go to a community college. And I didn't have enough money to move out, but I hated school with a passion. But she forced me to go to community college, and that was the worst thing ever. Like that made me hate life. Like borderline suicidal. I just can't stand like having to just sit there and listen to this dumb stuff and listen to some teacher read out a book. 3 of us were college dropouts. 1 was a high school dropout, and 1, I don't know, he just like quit his job. We were all super small YouTubers, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And we'd just call it like daily masterminds. We would just get on Skype every morning, and like some days like I'd get on Skype at 7 a.m. and I'd be in the call until like 10 p.m. and then I'd go to bed, I'd wake up and I'd do it again. And you know, we'd do things like just take 1,000 thumbnails and see if like there's a correlation to the brightness of the thumbnail to how many views it got, or like, you know, like videos that get over 10 million views is like how often do they cut the camera angles, or like things like that.
Really? So you microanalyzed
everything.
Really?
Yeah, just I mean, for like we were very religious about it, and so that's where most of my knowledge came from. Is I just surround myself with these lunatics, and just every day, like we didn't do anything. We had.
Well, there's a lesson in that for people, really. Like to just, if you do have a hyper obsession to something, there's a lot of people that think that because they're bad at school or because they're not interested in school, that they're destined to be a loser.
Yeah.
And that's not true. You can, the problem is school is too rigid. Like regular public school system, sit down, underpaid teacher, disinterested, not really connected with the work. You're not connected with it. You just can't wait to go home and do what you like to do.
Exactly.
And you get this thought in your head like, oh my God, I'm going to be a loser. I mean, that's how I was when I was in high school. I thought I was going to be a loser.
Well, and you take it a step further, because I thought, especially if you're like extremely passionate about something at a young age, where most kids aren't, then it's more exacerbated that it's like, you know, I didn't talk to anyone.
I mean, like it sounds like you were just all day, every day, and which makes sense. And what do you have now? 90 million subscribers?
Well, we across everything, we're closing in on 200 million subscribers.
Jesus!
Yeah, because have you seen our dub channels?
No.
Can you pull that up? Just search Mr.Beast in Espanol. So we actually, which I'm kind of curious why you don't do this. We do our videos in other languages as well.
Really?
Yeah. And
wow.
So I can't wait to get to show you this, because I actually have a really cool story. Here, just go to the channel so you can translate.
Who does this?
We do.
So you hire someone?
Hit videos. Yeah, we have voice actors and everything.
Wow.
So these are the exact same videos on my main channel, but we pay voice actors to dub over them. We translate the text in the video, everything.
Mr.Beast in Espanol.
Yeah, that was actually one of the fastest growing channels last year, and it's just our videos
so
dubbed.
Smart.
I mean, like when I was a young teenager, I was getting no views, had no money, had no equipment. And so for the most part, it was just like, I was just trying to scrounge money so I could buy equipment, because I was using my brother's old laptop. And so like my first couple hundred videos, I didn't have a microphone. Like imagine just like crackly, terrible voice. And so once I got monetized, I saved up for a few months. Like I told you, I bought a microphone. I can just give you a mile high history. And I saved up for like 6 months. I mean, I was just doing video game videos, and they were terrible. But I saved up. I got a real computer. So now I could actually record the video game in high quality. I have a microphone. I'm like 15. And I just kept going and going. I had been doing YouTube pretty religiously, but I was making no money. Like this is kind of the turning point was when I graduated from high school. And my whole life, I was like, I want to be making enough money by the time I graduated to do this full time. Essentially, yeah. It was that, and then because this was way before YouTube was even a thing. Like,
Right.
no one was really a YouTuber. Hardly anyone made money. Like, the partner program wasn't really a thing. No one
Right.
was making money.
Right.
And it was definitely back before it was cool. Like, when I was doing YouTube when I was 14 and 15, like, now, it's cool if you want to be a YouTuber in high school or middle
Yeah.
school. Back then, like, no one gave a fuck. You know what I mean? It was like, you're just worried they would try to play your videos in class or make fun of you or stuff like that for it.
So, but how did it evolve to what it is now? Was it a vision? What was the first idea?
The very first video, weirdly enough, I played this stupid game and some hacker like killed my base when I was 11, and so I uploaded it. And my first video got 20,000 views like instantly because it was like all the people that played the game was like, oh shit, you can hack in this game. It's a game called Battle Pirates. I guarantee you no one listening.
What is it called?
Battle Pirates. No one here has ever heard of it.
Battle card?
Battle Pirates. It was,
Battle Pirates.
Yeah, it was a really small game, but I uploaded that and I got 20,000 views. And that was probably the best thing that could have ever happened to me because then I was hooked from day one. Literally, like most people, it takes hundreds of videos before you get like one view. And somehow the very first video I uploaded at 11 got like 20,000 views. And then I was just like, oh, I fell in love and I've been hooked ever since.
Wow.
I think living your life chasing like a nicer and nicer car and a bigger and bigger box to live in is kind of like a dumb way to go about life. Set it to most popular.
Yeah.
I actually, funny enough, I lived in like a super below average home, and I kind of learned why famous people don't live in below average homes because someone broke in, stole everything I owned. So I had to get a little nicer house for security reasons. But before I was robbed, I mean, like my place was like a little duplex, $700 a month. You get a roommate's 360 split, yeah, and just drive a normal car. Well, now I drive a Tesla just because of the getting off of gas and stuff like
Right.
that. But like we just started doing this like 6 months ago, and it's crazy like how viral some of these videos
Wow,
are going.
51 million. The problem with me is like, I don't know if someone's going to translate if they're going to say exactly what I said.
Well, you have quality control. So we have like before a video gets uploaded, we have 3 different people who basically write the transcript, and then if the words don't line up on all 3, then or sorry. Let me think about the process. We have something like that because I was worried about that as well. I think we take the original transcript and then we have it dubbed. And then after stuff, we have like 2 different people write out. And if it doesn't line up with the original, then there's like, it's a red flag. And then we look at it.
Interesting.
Yeah, we built some system where I don't have to worry about that. Oh, and the final point is, in Spanish, the guy who does my dubs is the same guy who dubbed Spider-Man. We managed to convince him. So a lot of those comments are like, why does he sound like Spider-Man? Or is Mr.Beast Spider-Man?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and so what we do is when we go into these markets, we get celebrities to do my voice. It's been crazy because I've been doing it since I was 11, and
Really?
yeah. So now I'm 23, and so it's just like basically every year it's just gotten crazier and crazier. And I used to make $1 a day back. Well, the first few years I wasn't even making money off YouTube, but once I started making money, I was making $1 a day, and I saved up for a couple months. I bought a microphone, saved up for half a year. I got a computer, and I've just always reinvested it. And so it's like literally just all. I mean, I was like as awkward as they came. No money, no nothing, and I just basically. Just obsessed over YouTube every day for a decade.
Here's what I love the most. I love the most that you are unapologetically you. Let's talk about your mouth. Let's talk about you and your fines.
You know, everybody wants to set a record, right?
Where you at right now?
I don't know, 2 million, 2.5, something like
In
that.
fines.
Yeah. It's emotion improving a point, right?
Okay.
Let's just agree that officiating over the years has sucked. Hey,
How you doing?
I'm great.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You're a businessman. I just felt like if I took this time to pitch you something,
Okay.
it could probably make both of us money. Okay?
Okay.
So this is just what I feel could
I got
happen.
you.
Here's my pitch. First of all, do you like kids?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. Sometimes you just gotta go out there. You gotta say, how am I gonna make you happy, kid? We don't just get in the water. You know what I mean?
So, little story. So the night before I bought the team, I went out drinking with my friends, right? And I saw Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki out having some fun as well. Tried to buy him some drinks, right? Because we were trash. And so the next day I was meeting the team. And I walked in and stood in front of the team, and Dirk and Steve recognized me. For real.
Do you end button it, or did you pick it up?
It was like DC,
Yeah.
private, right? I picked it up 2.5 weeks ago, and he's like, Mark? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what do you think about the stock market? And I'm like, oh, hi, Donald. When we made the Porzingis trade, he sent me an email. He scanned the back cover of the New York Post, and he signed it, and he said, great trade.
That's it.
When he first announced, I thought there was no chance he's winning, right?
No shot.
And all of a sudden, he's calling me. And he's calling me, asking me advice, talking to me about, telling me everything he's doing, the whole 9 yards. And so I'm like, look, Donald, you got to learn this stuff, right? You can't just wing it.
Yeah.
And that's when we came apart.
Y'all just busted there.
Yeah. And after that, he sent me a note, and he goes, what happened? I'm like,
that's the
it is
note.
what it is. All right.
Mark, Mark, here's what I love, man. I love that you didn't bring the black guy from the show here. I got questions for him.
Damon's a good dude, man.
He is a good dude, but
He's
he
a
don't
good
buy
dude.
enough.
He buys nothing.
He buys nothing at all.
Nothing.
I wanna know what's in his account. I don't think he should be on the show anymore. Damn.
No, you gotta have Damon.
Ah!
Representing, baby.
He's a businessman all the time. He's more than Mark Cuban. More importantly, basketball.
Amen.
You not only do it right, but you change the way owners look at owning their team.
Amen. Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
Absolutely. When I bought the Mavs, owners just like stood on the sidelines, wrote the checks. Everybody told me to shut up. And I was like, no, I'm just going to be myself. I'm going to do my thing.
Where'd you get the money?
I started the first streaming company back in 1995. I went to Indiana University. It was like, we got to find a way to listen to Indiana basketball living in Texas. So the internet was happening, and I'm like, let's use this internet thing to figure out if we can listen to basketball games. Then it went from listening, then it went to broadcasting on video, then it went to going public, sold it for $5.7 billion, and a couple of months later, bought the Mavs. And so I was like, that, right? I'm going to do what I have to do to bring attention to improving the officiating.
What do you think the funniest thing that you've ever said and got fined for?
Remember our ref Joey Crawford?
I know Joey Crawford.
Joey Crawford would stick his hands down his pants and stare at me. He would grab his and stare at me. And I kept on screaming at him, stop grabbing your
Any player that you've had a back and forth with?
Oh, yeah. I went back and forth with KD one time.
Why? Why'd you go back and forth with him? Just
Because I was giving him about carrying the ball all the time. Like especially when he was with the Sonics way back in the day, he would carry the ball all the time. And I didn't carry, and he would just scream back at me that I can't repeat.
I remember setting a player off.
What?
James Harden, I was giving him
Yeah.
and he looked at me and said, Kev, he said, I'm about to give you 50. And I want you to look at your team when I'm done.